Welcome to Craft Chocolate TV, everyone. My name is Dylan from Manoa Chocolate, and today we are going to discuss a lot of the beans that we just received. We're going to analyze them a little more professionally than I normally do because I can do it with you guys and show my process, which doesn't mean that this is the process. It's just the way that I've always done it, and so much is by taste. However, there's other characteristics that we were looking for that will tell us whether it's good or bad. And the other day we already did a pre-sort of what we call A and B grade, and I've got those broken down. And so we're going to look at a few of them and talk about why one is B grade and one is A grade. So let us start with an A grade from April 25th. And I don't know if this is their harvest or ferment date, but sometime around late April of 2022. These also, you can even see some of the moisture in the bag. A lot of these were wet, but when I tasted it, it still tasted good. So at the end of the day, as long as it tastes good, that's the most important thing, regardless of how it looks. So first thing, smell it. Strong vinegar, which is characteristic of Mililani. Really strong vinegar, but clean. That's good sign. You see how it just cracks like that in my hand? It's not super hard. This bag is drier than some of the other ones, so we're looking for a moisture content somewhere between 6-8% is ideal for the beans storage. The color, I like that reddish color. Little bits of black on it, no problem, but this kind of lighter red brown is often what creates the best cacao, just visually. Doesn't mean it's like that all the time. Kind of soft, but wow, just a burst of fruity flavor. I really taste bright sour cherries, some tropical kind of notes, which we get all the time in this one. But the underlying flavor is also chocolate, which is rare when something's so fruity, when something's so acidic. So yeah, it's got a nice, what we'd call base cocoa flavor, and it's got really strong fruity notes. Super fun, love this one. So, that's why it made the A grade pile. Let's do a B grade pile. Right away, you can probably see it from here, how dark it is. This is from early April of the same year, 2022. Really dark. Let's see. It's also got a strong vinegar smell, but it's more of a one-dimensional, just plain like distilled vinegar. Doesn't smell that different though. But let's see. Oh, just feeling them, you can feel the beans are really hard. That usually is going to mean that it's going to be way more bitter and astringent. So under fermented likely. Maybe things didn't get hot enough. When it's fermenting, a lot of the time the shell will puff up and the acetic acid will penetrate inside the seed, working its way through all the fissures. If you've ever cracked a cacao bean in half or broken it in half, you see it falls into many pieces. If you break it straight in half, you have all this fissuring, like these big gouges in it. And if the acetic acid doesn't penetrate in there, maybe it's not neutralizing or balancing flavors. Anyway, this is all just me having theories. But the fact that it's so hard, so many of them are all hard. Here's one soft one out of 6 or 7 now. So some of them are puffy, that's good. Let's try a puffy one and we're going to try a not puffy one. You got to try both just to get an idea. Usually the puffy ones taste better, tasted good, really nice, once again, nice fruit. Let's try a solid one. Usually they're flat. When you cut them, they almost look like slate. When you're tasting beans, you always want some water. Oh, even that. It reminds me of balsamic vinegar. Not bad. Definitely not bad. Also not bad. This maybe could have gone into the A. Potentially. Put it in the middle. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but not bad. Let's go ahead and try a different A grade. We're partially picky because the majority of our Mililani cacao is really good. And so anything that doesn't meet the highest level, we'll just put aside. But that wasn't bad. Let's try this guy from July of 27 of this year. I know it's really wet, so this was kind of borderline. 10% moisture? I don't even know. Whew. Smells like it's fresh off the fermentation rack. That's intense. That is amazing amount of vinegar coming off of that. And this one you can still see it's like leathery. It reminds me of going to the drying rack before 7 days of drying, and you're sitting there and just kind of peeling apart. It's kind of leathery. Tastes good. Tastes like fruity. It tastes like raisins. Very palatable. And there's something about the acidity that makes you want more in this case. There's not the astringent or bitter characteristics. I can see why we did that. But you always got to try a few of them. And you saw how it's still kind of puffy, which meant it was easy to take the shell off. Let's try a different bee. The color is a bit lighter. Oftentimes, if the color is really light, it means it wasn't fermented long enough or didn't ferment well. Smells all right again, but it all boils down to the taste. See, they're kind of hard. Once again, I almost never like beans that are really hard. Hard, hard. There's a little softer. Hard, hard. So let's try the soft one. That'll probably be the best. Doesn't want to even come out of the shell. It's also still too high of a moisture content. Oof, some serious bitterness. There's interesting fruit in there, but there's almost like a Band-Aid note, which is not appealing. It reminds me of, in wine, if something's corked, it often has this note, wet cardboard. In this case, it reminds me of Band-Aids. That's definitely why it went into B grade. It'll make great milk chocolate. No one will even ever taste it. So in Hawaii, that works for us because we have an outlet for beans that are not as good. We want our Hawaiian cacao to always go into, if it's going into dark chocolate, to just be outstanding. Anything that doesn't make the grade, you add enough milk and sugar in it, and it just tastes like milk chocolate. And our milk chocolate is 50%, which, if we're going to get more geeky on this channel, means that we've still added 20% cocoa butter to that. So 30% nibs, 20% cocoa butter, and the remainder is a combination of milk and sugar. And in our case, we don't add that much sugar. We add 30% sugar, 20% milk powder. So that's Manoa Chocolate's milk chocolate recipe. I hope this has been helpful. This is something that we would kind of do more in the field, so to speak, but the same concept. And so you can see we just broke it down into bags for everyone. Hope you guys learned something from this, and we'll see you next time. Aloha.